This next video is on the bestseller report. The bestseller report is one of the most common run reports in Rick's Enterprise. To run this report, at the top right hand corner you can be at the top level organization or you can be at any of the store levels as long as you have access and permission to run the bestseller report. So from the main home menu you're going to click on the reporting tab up at the top, Sales, and Bestsellers. This will bring you into the bestseller screen. When you come in, normally the report name to the right will be blank. If you want to remember this report with the exact selections that you have done, you can name it just by typing in a name to the right of report name. Select the criteria and then you'll be able to click on Save Report down at the bottom. That way, anytime you come into the bestsellers report, you can click on the magnifying glass icon and select one of your saved reports. This way you don't have to remember exactly how you liked it. So in this example, I'm going to name this End of Month Top 50 SKUs by Quantity. This will be my top 50 SKUs sold by units by quantity. The next thing is the output method. The default is PDF, which is just a report format. If you click on the drop down, you can also choose either Excel or CSV. We're going to do PDF for this example. You have three different tab options. You have the report options, report criteria, and printing options. We're going to start with the report options. First section is which sales period would you like to analyze? If you click on the drop down, you have all of these options. Week to date, previous week, month to date, previous month, season to date, previous season, year to date, year to last month, previous year, last number of months, selected days, yesterday and today. Since we're doing an end of month report for last month, I'm going to choose previous month. The next section is what do you want to see the best of SKUs by? So you can do the best stores. If you have multiple stores, what are your best selling stores? What are your best selling suppliers? Your best selling classes, best selling custom entries and colors, best selling SKUs, SKUs by supplier, SKUs by class, or SKUs by custom entry and color. We're going to choose SKU since we just want to know our top 50 SKUs. You can also group by. Your choices are none, supplier, class, or custom entry and color. In this example, since I just want to know my top 50 SKUs, I'm going to choose none, and I'll put those top 50 SKUs in order. It doesn't matter what supplier they're from, what class they're from, what custom entry they're from. It's just giving me my top 50 SKUs. You also have the section for class depth, number of levels to display. Whether you want to do everything, you can leave that blank. If you just want to do your top level of classes, you can put 1. And so on and so forth. And then you have how do you want to sort the results in order of. If you click on the drop down, your options are quantity sold, net sales, profit, ROI, turns, inventory value, and sell-through percent. Since we're doing our top 50 by quantity, we're going to choose quantity sold. Over to the top right, we have what is the minimum quantity sold that you want to analyze. If you wanted to put a minimum, we have which items do you want to show. If I click on the drop down, my options are all items, top number of items, best above a cutoff point, and worst below a cutoff point if you want to look at the worst selling items. We're going to do top number of items, and the top number of items to print is going to be 50. Next section is how to display coupons. Your options are none, summary, and detail. We're going to choose none. How would you like to treat your stores? Your options are separate stores or combined stores. So if you have multiple stores, you can choose either one. If you have just a single store, you're going to just have separate stores. And then how do you want to value your inventory? To the right of value inventory at, you want to know your on hand as of active selling price, average cost, current cost, or markdown cost. I'm going to choose average cost. And then you can look at the date. Do I want to know my on hand as of today, or yesterday, last day of previous month, last day of previous year, last day of previous season, last day of first sales period, or a specific date? I'm going to look at last day of previous month because I want to know what my on hand was as of the last day of the month since I'm doing an end of month report. And then the value in transit inventory as on hand at the receiving store is just if you do multiple stores, and you do the in-transits when you're transferring merchandise. The next tab is the Report Criteria tab. So this shows all sorts of selections here by store state, by supplier, if you have store custom entries, by class, by color, by SKU, by primary grid, by secondary grid, if you have product custom entries, and then coupon codes and checkboxes at the bottom for the pricing. Include only SKUs at retail price, include only SKUs at markdown price, or include only SKUs with perks. So if I wanted to look at everything, I could just leave all of these fields blank. If I wanted to look at, say, a particular supplier, I could click to the right of by supplier, and I could either use my magnifying glass icon for the lookup, or I could start typing in the code. Say if I wanted to know all of New Balance, I could just select New Balance. Or I could exclude any criteria that I want. So I could put in New Balance for the supplier and click on the exclude checkbox to the right. So you'll see any of the fields that have the exclude checkbox to the right. Those are items that you can exclude from this report. There's also the Printing Options tab. If we click on that, you'll see also Print, ROI, and Turns. Once I've selected all of my criteria, and if I want to save this report, I can click on Save Report down at the bottom. You don't have to name each report when you run it. This is just if you want to save a particular report so you don't have to remember it each time. Then whenever you come into this report, if you want to pull up one of your saved reports, you just have to click on the magnifying glass icon and select the report that you want to run. When you're ready to run this report, if this is the only report that you're going to run, you can click on Add Job and Run. If you have another report or a few more reports to run, you can click on Add Job and Continue, do the next report, Add Job and Continue, and if that's the last one, the third one, you can click on Add Job and Run. In this example, we're just doing the one report, so I'm going to click on Add Job and Run. This will bring you to the report history, and I can click on this report, and I can choose to open it, save it, or cancel. If I save it, I can just save it somewhere to my hard drive. If I click on Open, it's going to open this report up on the screen for me. If I just had one store, normally this report, would just be a couple of pages. In this report, I have multiple stores, so I have up to 16 pages, and I can scroll down using the scroll bar, or down at the bottom, I can go to each page, a page at a time. I can click on the last page button. I can click on the first page button. I can click on the printer icon, and that's going to print this report. I can zoom in to make this report bigger so I can see it. I can also make my window bigger. I can save a copy from this screen somewhere to my hard drive. I can also email this report directly from here. And then if I'm looking for a particular item or word or SKU, I can click on Search. On the left-hand side, it shows all of my on-hand information, and on the right-hand side, it shows all of my sales information. So this is my end of month top 50 SKUs by quantity. So it's all in order by quantity, top to the bottom. Then if I wanted to edit this report, I could easily do so just by clicking on the Edit Criteria. And this brings back up on the screen the exact report, how I had it. So maybe I just want to change the output method. Instead of doing PDF, I want to do Excel. You could also change anything else that you want on this report. And then I can click on Add Job and Run. And now you'll see I have the bestseller report in Excel with the file type. So I can open that up, and that will open that up in Excel just by clicking on Open. And now I can have it in Excel, resort it if I want to, manipulate it how I want to. There you have it in Excel format. So that gives you an idea of how to get to the bestsellers report and the things that are available and how to run the bestseller report to get the kind of information that you need.